Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, chapter 6, verse number 21. So we are looking at words devalued, and self cannot be revealed through words. And self cannot be known through anything. We take the support of the words, we hang on to the words, each words, someone calls us by father, we accept, someone calls us by man, we accept, someone says you are 80 years old, we accept. But it's all because of the words. When we have given up all the support of the words, words may be there, may not be there, but you do not take the support to establish yourself. Can we do it straight away right now? No. Why? Because we are so steeped in ignorance. Right now we don't know the other way. And therefore, on one hand, you keep recognizing yourself without any support. On the other hand, you keep shift deleting all the supports. So, antar sadhana is being yourself. Bahir sadhana is whatever support of the body, support of the breath, support of the thought, support of the eye, everything you start finding ways either to delete them or to be not disturbed by them, not to be affected by them, not to be enslaved by them. And as we start doing that, slowly, our clarity will be, and what is this clarity? This clarity at relative level, because Jnaneshwar Maharaj is telling whom? He is telling to someone, no? It is in relative only. So from relative point of view, our mind is becoming clearer and clearer, meaning it is becoming purer and purer, and in that pure mind, the reflection will be wonderful. It will be as it is, without any errors. And on the other hand, the same scripture is saying that is for us to catch, and that is, we are already that which we are seeking. We are seeking because we are thinking we are the mind. And who are we? We are already that. What is that? The pure self, the infinite self, which alone is expressing at the phenomenal level, at the relative level, it is the material cause and the efficient cause of the whole creation. So it is the self alone which has gone into the body, breath, mind, intellect, space, air, fire, water, earth. The creator is also him and the material is also him. But do we have that vision at this moment? No. So on one hand you accept yourself, and on the other hand you keep dropping everything that you are not, or all the supports that you have taken, and ultimately all the supports, you know those supports only by way of word. So access silence again and again, as many times during the day as possible, consciously, and taking support of word. Those who hold the view that two birds can be killed with one stone, namely ignorance can be destroyed and self-revealed, are far away from the truth. Ignorance cannot be destroyed, and there is no revelation of the self in the sense that you want to understand the word revelation, as if it is hidden and then it is now revealed. No, because nothing is hidden and nothing will be revealed. And you can do nothing about ignorance, meaning the phenomena. Phenomena will continue. It will not stop because you did not create it. It is happening. So what do we do with phenomena? You deal with it correctly. When you are in the phenomena as the phenomenal, you negotiate through it. You interact with it in such a way that it doesn't burn you. And whenever there is, initially, whenever there is a moment of silence, there you are. And slowly that will become your natural state. Then whether there is phenomena or no phenomena, you are not concerned only after that. Why? Just as from the sun's point of view there is no phenomena of day and night, from this person who is established in the self as the self, whether the mind is active or inactive, that is the phenomena, no? He is not concerned because he is all that there is. He doesn't see mind as a mind. He sees only the self everywhere. For this some examples are given. Suryo ratri pamaril ma apanaya udo karil he kude na sarati bol sachatsya gavi. The sun rises after destroying the night is indeed a statement of utter foolishness for him who knows the reality about the sun. And what is the reality of the sun? That from sun's point of view, that is very important. From sun's point of view, there is no day or night. He is just being himself. Then what is going around? Is the sun going around the earth, or the earth is going around the sun? Earth is going around the sun. So is the self going around the mind, or the mind is going around the self? The mind is because of the self, not self is because of the mind. So what will be the disposition of the self? What is thought? I don't know. What is no thought? I don't know. Because everything I am. It's not I don't know. Everything I am. This question that what is thought and what is no thought is a absolute question there. You can ask the question to the self, but there will be no answer. Yet the phenomena, yet when the question is asked, this teacher Nivrittinath has asked Jnaneshwar Maharaj, write your experience of realization. This is in phenomena only, no? And Jnaneshwar Maharaj has written the Amrutanubhava. So it is the self playing with the self only. To say that the sun has to first destroy the night before it rises to reveal itself is to make a statement of utter foolishness. It has no meaning in the kingdom of truth. And so also we must take this, understand this clearly. You don't have to destroy the mind. Mind is darkness. Mind is where errors take place. Mind is where individuality is expressing. Mind is where attachment and identification is happening. Mind is where the variety is taking place. You don't have to destroy the mind in order to be the truth, to be the self. Then who are you? You are self all the time. You are self-established. You are self-knowing. Nobody is there who doesn't know themselves. Then why do they talk about quietening the mind? As long as you consider yourself to be the body, breath, mind, intellect, then you do that. But you understand that your goal is, initially our goal was to know the truth. So we had a desire for knowing the self. But now in this, here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is coming from being the truth, from being the self. And when you say from, then it has to be two. From and to go together. I go from my house to your house. I go from ignorance to realization. But where will Jnaneshwar Maharaj go? He is established in the self as the self. From the self, where will he go? Everywhere is self only. See the fun. From the self, there is a self only everywhere. There is nowhere to go. Yet, he has given this Amrutanubhava. Paramatma is there, Parabrahma Paramatma is there, what do you call, Paramashiva is there. Yet, he cannot but, at the phenomenal level, he cannot but express as Shiva and Parvati, Shiva Shakti. It will keep happening. Now question is, does Shiva get affected by it, or he remains in spite of the seeming division? Shiva knows that he is not divided, yet he is playing the game of division because he knows both is he alone. We have to come to this conclusion. What is the two? The Aham and the Idam. Inside, outside. Furthermore, Chaile nide ruse, aisi ke need ase, ki chaile che wo baise, aise chevane ahe. Can a person in deep sleep get angry at sleep? Or can a wide awake person be awakened from waking? Can a person who is in deep sleep keep fighting with sleep? Or can a person who is already awake be awakened? The statement that first the word will destroy ignorance and then reveal the truth is as absurd as these examples. It is not possible. the words, then why are we using these words? Only to indicate that which is already there. There is nothing called emancipation, there is nothing called realization, there is nothing called salvation, and taking this nothing, then the Buddha came to know. He understood that. So we are not against that. See? This is not a cup of tea for everyone. So when no communication, no support, no inference, no reference is possible, then there is nothing. If word cannot reach it, there is nothing. No, there is. We are saying nothing only with reference to relativity. Relativity cannot take you there. Words are relative. Words are coming and going. That is relative. And they cannot reveal the self. Maximum what can happen to the words? They can become unmanifest. And when it becomes unmanifest, that is called as nothing. But the presence is there. The self is there. Just because we cannot see the sun at night doesn't mean the sun is not there. Sun is there. All that has happened is the manifestation of light has stopped and darkness has pervaded. So manifestation, because the nature of word is to come into existence, stay in existence, then go out of existence. Every word is doing that, isn't it? So when it goes out of existence, sometimes it happens that next word doesn't come. So because the word is not coming, I am not. No, I continue to be. Initially as the presence, and eventually we have to go beyond that. We have to realize, we have to come to know, come to be the one who is the permanent one. Why is it not possible is concluded in the next OV. Manoni nasha purati avidya nahi niruti nahi atma atma sthiti rege aisa. When there is not an iota of ignorance in self, how can it be removed by word? And also the self cannot disown itself, therefore there is no need for word to reveal the self. So first part, when there is not an iota of ignorance in the self, then how can it be removed by word? Word itself is an expression of ignorance. But understand here, ignorance, incomplete knowledge. So word, where there is incomplete knowledge, there alone the word is necessary, or word comes up. And if you take ignorance as not knowing, that also, then only the word. See, Manasa, Vacha, Kaya. These are the three places where activity takes place. And what is the mother of activity? Desire. What is the mother of desire? Ignorance. Speech is an activity. Thoughts are an activity at the mind level. So here when it says, when there is not an iota of ignorance in the self, from the self point of view, there is no ignorance, there is no darkness, there is no absence, there is only fullness. I alone am, without a thought. If that is the case, and if that is our reality, if that is our natural state, that we are full, Purnamada Purnamidam, there is nothing else but the self. But we have incomplete knowledge, therefore we are using the words. How can that which is incomplete reveal the complete? How can that which is finite reveal the infinite? Think little bit coolly. Don't just get carried away by the feelings that the words invoke. Because then if the feelings are there, wow, wonderful, again we are in mind. You be and self can never separate itself from itself. Self can never separate itself from itself. There is no separation possible. So when you say, oh, Paramashiva expresses as if as Shiva and Shakti. Shiva Shakti are two, because there are two words to it. There is Shiva and there is Shakti. But Paramashiva doesn't know anything else but Paramashiva. We have, who are in the phenomena, we have given him the word Paramashiva. So what is this two, Shiva Shakti? Because Shiva Shakti is there, has Paramashiva forgotten that he is Paramashiva? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. He can never become two. The sun can never become two, called day and night. The self can never become two, the self and the not self. Knowledge and ignorance. He cannot become two, because he is one without a second. Then what is the two that we see? It is superimposition on that one without a second. Superimposition by whom? Not by Paramashiva. That superimposition is by the phenomena. And we are a part of, at this moment, when we are talking, when we are listening, when we are understanding, the phenomena is trying to understand. But who are we in essence? We are not separate from Paramashiva. Can the phenomena reveal that which is transcendental to phenomena? Can the effect reveal the cause? Not possible. Can the word reveal the self? Not possible. This has to be digested and consolidated inside. Because we are living with the conviction that we are an individual. We are using the words to change that, reformat our conviction that we are who, which you cannot think of. Words cannot reach. Now, it's such a subtle art because the teacher is trying to teach you that which cannot be taught. And a student is trying to understand that which cannot be understood. And yet the communication is taking place. And in that communication it is coming that the words cannot reveal the self. Why? Self is self-established. Self is self-knowing. That which is self-knowing can never become not self-knowing. And that is how we are feeling at this moment, that I think I am not the self, I have to realize the self, isn't it? And so this imaginary journey back to the self, which is happening in the phenomena. मजेदार है एकदम. And you start, एकदम पिक्चर क्लियर है. पिक्चर हमेशा पिक्चर विल बी ऑलवेज ऑफ द फिनोमिना, नॉट ऑफ द सेल्फ. But how we get entangled in the phenomena, that is becoming clear. And while this clarity is coming about by studying, you are the ever present one. You are the ever present one, watching the mind undo itself. Because the answer is not in the mind, words are in the mind. And if words cannot reveal the self, then who am I? I am the self. Then where am I? I am me. So while listening to the satsang, listen without involvement. Don't be too fixated on the thoughts. Don't feel that you missed out on something, that you need more to gain and understand in order to know yourself. Because the self that we essentially are has never, cannot ever forget itself. By nature it is self-knowing, it is self-conscious. Therefore, in the pure self, there is not even an iota of ignorance which can be destroyed by the word. The sun can destroy the night only if darkness is an object, but darkness is not an object. Similarly, where are the words appearing and disappearing? I am asking, where are the words appearing and disappearing? Mind. Where is the mind? Answer?
It's a collection of thoughts.
No. That is primary school understanding.
Consciousness.
No.
Consciousness with thoughts is mind.
Yes, in the context. Consciousness with thoughts is mind is for the soul. We are not at the soul level. What is mind?
It is present in its own absence.
It is existing in its, it is that which is existing in its own absence. It is not there yet appears to be there. That is mind. And that which is not is expressing as words. You understand? Now look at the example that is taken here. The sun can destroy the night only if the darkness is an object. Is mind an object? Mind is not an object. Words are objects. But have you seen mind? Have you seen the form of the mind? Have you seen the dimension of the mind? Have you experienced the weight of the mind? So here one moment we say That which is existing in its own absence is mind. On another place we say mind is nothing but consciousness. Isn't it? So is there anything called mind? No. And we have taken that to be the reality, that to be real, and suffering because we have taken it to be real. What have we taken to be real? That which does not exist. When we take darkness to be real, we become afraid of that darkness. But now continuously we are being prodded to take the position separate from the self point of view. What is self point of from the self sun point of view? No darkness is possible. From the self point of view, there is no mind possible. So till you are in the mind, coming in and going out of mind, understand you are still in the phenomena. You have not known the self. In the sense, you may have a glimpse here and there, but we are not established in it. Complete knowledge has not taken place. Complete knowledge means being the self as the self. And yet able to communicate like Jnaneshwar Maharaj is communicating in the phenomena. And not only Jnaneshwar Maharaj, every Mahatma. Shankaracharya being the self as the self, then taking the scriptures and writing commentary, the Shankar Bhashya for everything. He could not have done that if he had accepted himself as an individual. This is something our mind will never be able to join the dots. There are no dots there to join. In the same way, ignorance can be destroyed only if it is existing, but ignorance is that which is existing in its own absence. So that which is absent, how can you destroy it? So the words can neither destroy the ignorance nor the words can reveal the truth. अरे बाप रे ये तो कुछ it's a bigger bomb than we expected. See? Ignorance can be destroyed only if it is existing. That which is not existing, how can you destroy it? How can you destroy the mirage waters? How can you destroy the blueness of the sky? How can you destroy the rainbow? How can you destroy it? You cannot. Then what do you do? What do you do when you see that which does not exist yet is appearing? What do you do? At a relative level, what do? You be indifferent to it, isn't it? You enjoy it. You enjoy the blueness of the sky. Yesterday, day before yesterday only, when we had gone for that gliding thing, the sky out there was so blue. Oh my God, beautiful. Because no pollution. And the trees against that blue sky, they were looking magnificent. And as we came back to Melbourne, again the sky became murky, and yes, it was still blue, but not that deep blue which we saw out there in the Bacchus Marsh. Can we you enjoy? And we enjoyed it. Wonderful. So what do you do with the appearance? You enjoy the appearance. How do you enjoy? As the self, as the expression of the self. We are saying that, This is one reason why the word has no role in destroying ignorance. Second, as for revealing the self, self cannot deny its own existence. So what did I say? The word cannot destroy ignorance, and the word cannot reveal the self, because self is self-revealed, self-knowing, self-existing. Yeah, so I've been wasting time for so many years listening to satsang, reading scriptures, by-hearting Hanuman Chalisa, chanting Nirvana Shatkam, Lalita Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam, Rudram. All of them are telling this only. All of them are bringing you to this point. Thus, in both these extremes, namely one extreme of ignorance, which needs to be destroyed, which is not existing in the self, and the other extreme of Atma, which is to be revealed, which is always present, and which can never be denied, what can the word do in both the realms? In the realm of ignorance and the realm of realm means the extreme, here he is taking it that way. So in the world of ignorance, nothing can be done by the word, because it itself is a expression of ignorance. And in the self it cannot do anything. Why? Self is already self-knowing. So what will the word reveal, which is beyond its scope? ये तो गड़बड़ हो गई यार. Through such contradictions alone, the mind stops. There is no fixed answer. Fixed answers are in the beginning. It is required. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. It's a fixed answer. Recognized. Yeah, it is like that. Many people don't even know that. But here the topic is not the mind. Here the topic is the self. Checkmate बोलते हैं ना, checkmate. Game over. This is checkmate. Contradictions are checkmate. As much as the mind may want to think through words, it cannot come to a conclusion. That is checkmate. And that is talked about as, again I am going away from the topic. I was going to say, and that is the sandhi period, between the two thoughts, between the two this, between. Again, now you will start looking for the two and the joining part. At relative, it is okay. In the relative level, it's okay. But here Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking the position of the infinite. It can neither destroy nor reveal. Thus, the word to which we give so much importance and status is nothing but a sound. It is important. Now you ask me the same question in bhakti, because that person is devoted to the Lord, we will have a different approach. But it will bring us to the same point. What is that same point? Name and what it is indicating is one and the same. the name and what it, when we say Ram or Ram ka naam ek hai. So Ram is the Parabrahma Paramatma in essence, and the name is the expression of ignorance. And ignorance is not there. So when we do Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, the name, the word, takes the individual from the gross to the subtle, from the subtle to the transcendental, and delivers the individual at the threshold. And at that moment, if we have studied a bit of Vedanta or this text like this, then we will not insist that I have to know. That duragraha is there, the insistence that I have to know. I have to know presupposes that I don't know at this moment and I will come to know. And what is the truth? Knowing is being is the truth. Our knowledge is only based on thoughts. We have to come to that where knowledge is possible without thoughts also. We have to accept that we are that.
Swamiji,
Oh,
I have just a small thought came into this, Swamiji. Knowing is being or being is knowing?
both.
Okay, that's all.
It is self. Being is what? Being is existence, sat.
Yeah.
Knowing is what? Conscious.
Knowing is conscious. Okay.
Yes, and now again this question is coming because you are thinking that existence and consciousness are two words, so they represent two different things.
Yeah.
But it is not so. We have the word heat and light. Sun doesn't know heat, sun doesn't know light. He is both at the same time. From his
Yeah.
point of view, there is no heat, there is no light.
Yeah.
So this is where when we are thinking, our mind gets caught up. So when
Yes.
we are saying knowing is being, when we are self-conscious, we are ever existing.
Yeah.
When we become conscious of our continuous existence, that is knowing is being.
Yeah. In the context of knowing through the knowledge and scriptures, that is not the knowing, isn't it? Swamiji?
No words.
Yeah.
No words.
Yeah.
This,
Okay.
yes, we are using the words here, knowing is being. We are using words.
Yeah.
But what it is indicating is which you are already.
Yes. Yes, Swami. Yeah.
You are already that.
Yes.
And as long as you keep thinking knowing is being, Aham Brahmasmi, you will if you keep thinking I am sleeping, you will never go to sleep.
Yes.
If you
Thanks,
keep
Swami.
saying Aham Brahmasmi, you will never come to be the infinite one. If you keep saying knowing is being, you will never abide in it as it, even though you are. You will never have the complete, you will never be complete because you are choosing to be divided by these two words.
Yeah. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you.
And where are the words coming? In the mind. What is mind? Nothing but pure consciousness, in essence. So that consciousness is being divided by the word knowing is being. The essential unreal nature of ignorance is discussed further अविद्या तव स्वरूपे वांझेचे कीरू जाऊपे मातर्काचे खुरपे खांडे कोणा. The reality of ignorance is like that of a son of a barren woman. This being the case, what can the word sickle of logic destroy? We use logic to destroy ignorance. It is important in the relative sense. Discrimination, I have to discriminate between real and imaginary. So we have to discriminate between the permanent and the impermanent. Where is that discrimination going on? In the mind. Does mind know what is permanent? No. And it is trying to do discrimination. Because the word changing and changeless are only two words, no? Subjective means when the word changeless comes, when the word permanent comes, when the word real comes, when the word sat comes in your mind, when we are discriminating between the truth and the word truth comes, if it remains a thought in your mind, we have lost the plot. But the moment the word comes in your mind, and these are initial stages, and when that contemplation happens and you are in your meditation, you are so acutely aware, and if that discrimination because discrimination is happening by way of words, by thinking. But if it is not being subjective, if we are thinking truth, yeah, I have to be the truth, I have to be the truth, still it is a concept of your mind. You are not being subjective. Subjective means you are the destination. When we say, I want to sleep, has anyone known what sleep is? Nobody knows what sleep is. Only after waking up you say, I had a good sleep. Because nobody knows what nothing is. They know absence of an object, but they don't know what is absence. Nobody knows. Exactly the same way, nobody knows what is ignorance. How can you know that which does not exist? If you focus on that absence, then you are missing the self. You are not being the self then. The essential nature of ignorance is like the son of a barren woman, or like another place in Upanishads, the horn of the hare. Thus the word can be used to make any absurd statement. Adi Shankara, in one of his commentaries, likens the status of ignorance to a Vandhyaputra, son of a barren woman, going in the sky, riding a chariot, plucking the sky flowers and making a bow out of them, then making the arrow with the horn of a hare and killing the enemy. And where is this? A similar story is there Once upon a time, there was a boy who was never born. There was a man who was never born. He was living in the village, which was existing on the tips of the grass, which had never grown. It was on the side of the river, which was never flowing. Now, you tell some child, they'll say, "Oh my God, what a wonderful story." But is it a story? What is your answer? Is it a story? No. Then why are you pursuing such story called your life? It doesn't exist as you see it, as you know it. But we insist it is like this. And as long as you insist it is like this, you are missing being the self. Because where is this world? Exactly like that. Where is the husband? Where is the wife? Where is the mother? Where is the daughter? Where is the yesterday? Where is tomorrow? Where is the mind? Where is the body? Where are the memories? It's like that Vandhyaputra. It is like that flowers in the sky. Akasha Pushpa. And we are trying to hold on to everything in this world which can never be held. Why? It does not exist in the first place. Our story is exactly like this. Catch the foolishness. Will it stop? No, it will not stop. Just because Jnaneshwar Maharaj knows, did he stop accepting Nivrittinath as his elder brother and guru? Did he stop accepting other two kids, Sopandev and Muktabai, as his brother and sister? No. The story continues. So negotiate or interact with the story without losing yourself, because phenomena will continue. And that we see in the realized masters also. It's a very, very, I can't even use the word subtle because it's beyond subtle point. And if I say transcendental point, transcendental has got no point. Thus, the sentence is grammatically correct, but what it is saying has no meaning. It is mere noise. Words without meaning is like Vandhyaputra. So all words, all thoughts that we are having, and those words and thoughts alone are appearing as words, and those words are alone revealing the whole creation. Past, present, future. And what is this past, present, future? Vandhyaputra. Don't be besotted by it, don't be attached to it, don't get identified with it. Accept it, don't reject it, but don't retain. You have to accept the mirage waters or the blueness of the sky. You cannot destroy it, you cannot reject it, but don't retain it. Retainment means, oh, I want to catch it and take it home. You cannot. I want to quench the thirst from the mirage waters. You cannot. That is foolishness. That is retaining. When you see a thing for what it is, that's all is required. So what is this whole world? Birth, death, Chatur Yugas, gods, all this is coming in this category. Change. Accept, don't reject, don't retain. But know the scheme, how what is the process of its appearance. And that is what it was told. Paramashiva, Shiva Shakti. In that chapter itself, how Shakti becomes the Trigunatmika Shakti. When Shiva, and she makes the Shiva appear as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And then goes on. Then that out of the tamas she expresses as the Pancha Mahabhut, space, air, fire, water, earth. Through the rajas she makes the Jnanendriyas, no, Karmendriyas. And through the sattva she makes the Jnanendriyas. So that is also it is a theory which is being presented to you. That is not the truth. Truth can only be one. That which cannot be spoken about. And that you are. And that is by nature infinite. By nature it is self-knowing. Avidya or ignorance is of the same nature. Such being the case, how can the horns of the word logic remove the weeds of ignorance? How can effect remove the cause? Is it possible? The word is a product of ignorance. How can thoughts remove the mind? They are existing in the womb of the mind. How can they remove the mind? Not possible. How can senses remove the mind? Not possible. They are product. Mind alone is expressing as senses, isn't it? All that is required is invert your vision. Instead of looking at everything objectively, look subjectively. Instead of thinking of the self through the words, be the self in spite of the words. Be the self in spite of the words. This is being subjective. Thus Jnaneshwar Maharaj says that ignorance cannot be removed because it does not exist. So true. Then where's the question of I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the breath, I'm not the intellect, and Is it necessary? Yes and no. After listening to today's satsang, it is not necessary. But after listening to today's satsang, if we still insist that we are the body, that we are a wife, husband, this, that, without being subjective, we are lost in that, then it is necessary. Do whatever exercise is required to create the distance between you and the body. Then only this knowledge will dissolve. It will take root. So the words which are product of the ignorance cannot remove ignorance. This has to be just accepted. Logic we have shown you. And that what did that logic conclude? That you cannot destroy ignorance. Has anywhere else have you read this, that ignorance cannot be destroyed in this manner? No. Yes, other scriptures do say the self cannot. Yato vacho nivartente aprapya manasasa. Scriptures say that. The Upanishad says that it cannot be known by words, that it cannot be comprehended by the mind. But have you recently come across anywhere that we cannot destroy ignorance also? No, we cannot destroy ignorance must not lead to depression. Oh my God, I can't destroy ignorance and I don't know the self. Then what do I do now? Oh my God, cry. That should not happen. There's nothing to be emotional about here. It is just statement of fact. And if you are an inquirer, you're doing the inquiry, then there's no emotion in it. You know, like they say, when you buy a house, don't bring emotions into it. So when you are being yourself, don't bring emotion to it. Understand everything as it is. Emotion distorts it. Emotion is in the mind. This subject matter which is going on, it is not for the mind, it is for the intellect. We are discriminating. Is the word able to reveal the truth? Is the word able to destroy ignorance? Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness I move to light. From ignorance I go to self. Where will you go? Here there is talking, there is nowhere to go, nothing to remove, nothing to know. And that you are. Until we don't be that way, because inside khujli hai, eczema hai, you want to keep doing something, you want to keep thinking, you want to keep practicing. How could Nisargadatta Maharaj, once in his life he heard, you are that infinite. In 2 years, he disassociated with everything. Unheard of. In 2 years, he comes out of the room as a realized master. Where are we going wrong? We know, we understand everything so much. We can chant Bhaja Govindam, we can chant Upadeshasar, we can chant so many different things. We understand their meaning also. Then where are we falling short, man? Application is not there in the world. Application is being subjective. Being the subject itself. Giving a further example, Indra Dhanushya Kavana Dhanavayin Ghali Jete Te Dise Taise Hote Sachasari. If the rainbow was real, all the warriors would have fixed a string to it. If the rainbow were real, all the Kshatriyas, the warriors, they would have taken that rainbow, put the string and ready to shoot the arrows. But go and try to catch the rainbow. If the rainbow had been real, which warrior would not have fixed a string to it and used it? But although it appears to be a bow, it is not. In the same way, this ignorance which one wants to destroy by the use of word does not exist. In Mundaka Upanishad, words when they are talking about the world, the ephemeral, it is called agyan. And when the words are talking about the self, the Atma, the Parabrahma Paramatma, they are called Gyan. But the Upanishad says both Gyan and Agyan have to be given up. In Bhagavad Gita also one chapter is there, Jnana Jnana Yogo Nama. Both have to be given up. Because it's nothing but words. And words are a product of that which does not exist. Continuing in the same vein, Agasti Chia Kautuka Purati Zari Mrugatrushnika Tasi Maradeto Tarka Avidyesi. If the great feat of drinking the mirage water could be done by the sage Agasti, then one can accept that the word of logic can destroy ignorance. Agastya Muni is famous for having consumed the whole ocean. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says that Agastya Muni may have performed that miraculous feat, but can he drink the mirage water? If Agastya Muni can do that, then it is possible that by logic and word, ignorance can be destroyed. I do not know. Ignorance is itself the cause and itself the effect. So logic and word are null and void in the area of ignorance. What is I do not know? I do not know myself as the self. Non-apprehension, self-forgetfulness, the moment we forget ourselves, our own essential nature, at that very moment, just as this is a magnifying glass. The moment it goes away, that very moment, absence of object is there, isn't it? Absence is there. The moment self-forgetfulness happens, abidance in the self as the self happens, which has never happened, but you are thinking that way. So here you are trying to find, why are we thinking that way? Why are we not able to accept that we are always? Because the self, that which is caught up is got entangled, got identified with the cause and effect. The moment self-forgetfulness is there, that very moment cause and effect is there. Cause is ignorance, effect is the word, effect is the thought and karma. The variety comes about as separate to ourselves. And how can something from the effect remove the ignorance, or from the effect reveal the reality? It is not possible. So when we talk about ignorance is equal to incomplete knowledge, that incomplete knowledge is by way of words. Complete knowledge is maunam vyakhyat. That complete knowledge is in spite of words. Whether words are there or not there, it does not corrupt the one who is the self. See, the thought that is coming to me right now again is, see the compassion and love of the scriptures within the relative, the compassion of the scriptures and masters, and how much data they have given to explain that which cannot be explained, which is the truth. He's written this entire Amrutanubhava telling you that which cannot be talked about. And he's using the words to bring you there, to guide your mind there. Knowing fully well that it is beyond the mind. Knowing that we are essentially that where he is established. Yet giving the whole scheme so that we correctly understand, we have complete knowledge. Only communication can bring that about. Continuing, I do not know, ignorance is itself the cause and itself the effect. So logic and word are null and void in the area of ignorance. Continuing the thought, साहे बोलाची वळघी ऐसी अविद्या असे जगी तरी जाळू नाका आंगी गंधर्व नगरे. He's saying, if the words can destroy ignorance, then the fire can certainly destroy cloud figures. Cloud figures, Gandharva Nagari, imaginations, fantasies. Only if ignorance exists, it will be available for being beaten by the word. If it does not exist at all, there is no possibility of being removed by the word. You can only remove that which exists, but it doesn't exist. What? Ignorance. So how will the word remove? Oh, first you create a problem called ignorance, and then you say that you have to study scriptures, and then when you study the scriptures, then you come to realize that the words of the scriptures cannot remove the word ignorance or what the word ignorance represents. You are taking us round and round, sir. You see? Then what is that example that when someone is pricked by a thorn, you take another thorn and remove the pricked thorn and throw both of them away? Is it not that we take the word and we remove the ignorance? Nope. Then what? How do we relate to that example then? You use the words to remove the tamasic words, the rajasic words, and within the sattvic you come to this point where you can understand this. So in the relative, a tamasic mind, meaning disposition, he cannot understand what is being told here. A rajasic person, he is too busy with what if, what that, what is, so many questions. He cannot also understand. You require a sattvic mind, a calm mind, a cool mind, a collected mind, a contemplative mind to understand what is being communicated here by Jnaneshwar Maharaj. To bring this calm, cool, collected mind where this understanding clicks that the word cannot remove ignorance and the words cannot reveal the truth. For that you need this type of mind. For that, to bring about this type of mind, that example of thorn removing the thorn. So removing old notions by new notions, by removing tamas and rajas by sattvic sattva. So by coming to sattva, within sattva also come to a deep, calm state of mind. That example cannot be used here. Because there is nothing to remove and there is nothing to know. Because you are already that. What about ignorance? Ignorance is existing in its absence, so nothing, let it be. You don't have a problem when night comes every day. You don't have a problem when there is no thought between two thoughts so many times during the day. Then why, when it comes to spirituality and suddenly ignorance becomes a big issue for you? Let it be. Only if ignorance exists, it will be available for being beaten by the word. But if it is not there, how can the word beat it? How can it remove it? If it does not exist at all, there is no possibility of it being removed by the word. Again, the same point is being reiterated. It is as impossible as burning the imaginary city of clouds, Gandharva Nagari in the sky. Ignorance has as much reality as the Gandharva city in the sky. So when we say the world of dream is a Gandharva city, it's an imagination of your mind. You give it zero value the moment you wake up. When we say the waking world is also a Gandharva Nagari, is also equivalent to dream, an imagination, a projection of your mind, we are not ready to accept it. This insistence that this world is real keeps us in the loop of misery and grief. We और कितने तरीके से we explain. All angles are covered. Yet half the book is still there. See? We are so insisting that this waking world is real. So what is the status of this world of ignorance, which is expressing as what? Ignorance is expressing as manasa vacha kaya. Ignorance is expressing as past, present, future. Ignorance is expressing as vasanas, desires and karma. Ignorance is expressing as the as everything that you know objectively. Whether you see it or you don't see it, everything is including scriptures. Including scriptures. And what are scriptures? Nothing but words. And this is not just Jnaneshwar Maharaj saying that the words cannot reveal the self. Upanishads also declare, Yato Vacho Nivartante. They themselves declare that the words that we are nothing but, all Upanishads are nothing but words. They say, we cannot reveal the truth, we can only indicate the truth. In the end, when you come to that point, you have to drop us also. If you hold on to the scriptures and want to know the truth, not possible. Still another example. See the grace of Jnaneshwar Maharaj. One after the other, such succinct examples he is taking. One more example. Na tari deepachi soe अंधारे किरण साहे ते थे काहि आहे zavaya zoge. Or when there is no darkness in the presence of light, what can be destroyed by it? When the light is taken into a dark room to remove darkness, there remains no darkness to be removed. Darkness cannot exist in the presence of light. In that case, what will the light remove? Because darkness is simply not there. Nature of light is illumination. The moment you bring the light anywhere, there is no darkness. So what will it remove? Because the darkness is simply not there. The main idea that is being emphasized again and again is to think that by the strength of the word, ignorance can be destroyed is a fallacy. This is our new level of understanding. That by thinking we can remove ignorance is a fallacy. You are shooting in the dark. Nothing is going to be achieved. You will just go round and round and round and round and round. Yet another example, na tari pahavaya divasu vati tsaki jai sosu tevhadahi udvasu udhyamu pade. Therefore, all the efforts of preparing a lamp and lighting it for seeing the sun are a waste indeed. So what is the lamp here to see the sun? Sun is the self, lamp is the word. Oh, before there was no lamp. I got the materials, I prepared the lamp, meaning I prepared the mind. I prepared the conviction. Now I got no doubts. I am not disturbed. I am not multi-pointed. I am focused. I am single-pointed. I am glowing only upwards like the lamp. I am not fickle-minded in my contemplation of the truth. Just like that lamp which is not affected by the breeze is continuously, steadily glowing upwards. All these are similes for bringing your mind, collecting all the information, becoming convinced, then meditating, then coming to your mind. Why? I want to know the truth. And what is the conclusion? Lamp cannot reveal the sun. Apply it on yourself. No conviction, no concept, which is by way of words only. Ultimate Aham Brahmasmi cannot reveal the Brahman. The word self cannot reveal the self. Now understand, when I am saying all this, you have to take into consideration the understanding of the words are used only to counteract the opposite. Sat is used for counteracting asat and so on. So self word is used to counteract no self. If no self is not there in the first place, with this understanding, when you say word cannot destroy ignorance, meaning the words cannot destroy not self, because there is nothing called not self, then is there a need to talk about self? Then what? Then you are. All this discussion is only to make you to be yourself and not depend on anything or anyone. In other words, not depend on the world. Not depend on any concepts. I should not put too much words to it. Just not depend on any word. If one were to take a lamp, fill it with oil, place a wick in it, light it and take it out to see how the sun is, all these efforts to see the sun with the help of that lamp will not only be useless, but will also be foolish. Similarly, it will be foolish to think that by the strength of the word, the ignorance will be removed. And see, here we are only talking this. What are yogis doing? By doing yoga, they want to remove ignorance. They want to know the self by doing yoga. Is it possible? In the light of this, Yama, do not be disturbed by the world, don't get disturbed by the world. By that you are going to know the self. Where is your focus? On the world. It's not on the being the subject. But yes, there also you are always the self. But your attention is on disturbance. Niyama, your attention is on the internal disturbance. Therefore the word niyama, you need discipline so that you do not become a problem to yourself. Then your attention is on the body. So you don't want to be destroyed by body. So yoga. Then you don't want to be destroyed by breath. Now you have created such a long journey. How many? Ashtanga Yoga. 8 steps only to know yourself. Because you took that which did not exist, does not exist to be real. And in that real, imaginary real, relative real, oh, the biggest problem is the world. I am not able, okay, uske liye ek word de diya, yama. But then my mind is still disturbing, uske liye naam de diya, niyama. But at any given stage of the 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga, are you not already the self? Are you not already the self? If you have to do all this acrobatics of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, and then come to know I am the conscious principle, You understand it. यहाँ पे straight understanding है that all these 8 steps were expressions of ignorance alone, and ignorance is not, that which does not exist. Story over, कुछ करना ही नहीं है. अरे यही तो हम चाहते हैं. This is what we want. Because doing exhausts us. Understanding is required. Knowledge is required. This is the direct path. This is the Vedanta or this Ishwar Advaita is the direct path. There is no way Jnaneshwar Maharaj is going to allow us to slip away. He's grabbed our attention. Similarly, it will be foolish to think that by the strength of the word, the ignorance will be removed. Very simple. Again I come. The word sleep does not reveal sleep. The word sleep has to go out of your mind in order for sleep to reveal. Isn't it? Similarly, the word self has to go in order for self to reveal. And as long as we remain in this mode that I have to think of the truth, as fine-tuned we may be, as 10 hours of samadhi abhyas we are doing daily, but as long as we are objective in our approach, the situation is the lamp trying to illuminate the sun, which is not possible. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om, Hari Om.